by the way. The recording is only shared with a couple of our Institute for Dream Studies students who couldn't be here today. And that's the only people. They will see it for a week and they will throw it away. They will delete it. I will delete it. And just so you also know, when we do any dream work, that won't be recorded. Okay? You'll be in groups for that. Thank you so much, Jess. So in order to get to that intuition, we took a journey through our physical body, our energy, and our thoughts and feelings. And that's going to sort of come into play as we talk about extraordinary dreams and how to access them and where they come from. Okay? So our extraordinary dreams are very much connected to this process of moving through or working through with our dream work any resistances or issues we're having in our physical body, our energy, and very importantly, our thoughts and emotions. We'll get to that a little later. So I just want to share with you a little bit of what we'll be doing, and then we're just going to do it. How's that sound? So I'm going to try to share my screen. Are you now seeing my screen? I think you are. Okay, thanks, Kat. I appreciate that. So we are going to be talking about dreams that come true, and we are centered. So I lead workshops a little bit the way I cook. That's why I call it a menu. And when I cook, I have a recipe, but I never stick exactly to it. But it helps me get to just about the right dish that I intended. So we've got some intentions today. I have intentions, you have intentions. And what we create will be hopefully spicy and maybe a little different than the intentions, but pretty close. So we're going to be working, so we're talking today about working with lucid, extraordinary, and precognitive dreams, big dreams, visitation dreams. That means dreams of people who've passed on. But I'm not going to be instructing you on each of these things separately. What we do today are things that you can apply to any of these types of dreams. So you're not going to get specific instruction in each one. You're not going to get specific instruction on lucid dreaming. I think I should do a whole separate workshop on that. But we will talk about these and we will welcome these dreams. And you're going to, this working with is the key here. How do we work with these dreams? Do we work with them differently than other dreams, etc.? I'll offer you information and examples about these kinds of dreams that I hope will inform you and inform your personal dream life. And you'll get a chance to look at your dreams in a slightly new way, from a different perspective, and to see them maybe in a little bit of a different context now that you're thinking of extraordinary dreams in a slightly different way. And importantly, we have 2 hours together. I could talk about these kinds of dreams with you if we did a 1-week workshop together where we met every day for 8 hours. We'd be able to fill that time easily, but we have 2 hours together. So what you're going to get today are some morsels that you can take home with you and chew over. I might be getting carried away with this food analogy, but you get my point. You're going to get ideas and inspirations, maybe some techniques that you can take home with you, and you can use them with your own dreams and also dreams of your clients. For those of you who are training to be professional dream workers with the Institute for Dream Studies, and those of you who are social workers and therapists or who work with clients in different modalities. Okay? So that's pretty much what's on our menu today. And when I sent you the email about this workshop, I asked you some questions. So we'll reflect on those. And don't worry, it wasn't like homework that you needed to do, but hopefully you've had a chance to look through your journals And so that you can sort of have on the top of your head maybe some of the answers to these questions. So we're going to put this into the chat actually. So I'll stop sharing the screen so you can see each other's responses. But so you've thought about it. And I want you to put into the chat what kind of extraordinary dreams that you have. You know, do you tend to have lucid dreams, or do you tend to have precognitive dreams? You know, precognitive meaning dreams that end up coming true, or clairvoyant dreams, which tend to be dreams where you're dreaming something in your bed, let's say here in Massachusetts, and you find out that you are actually seeing something that was happening in your sister's life in Japan. Okay, that's my life, and that's happened. How often would you say you have big dreams or extraordinary dreams? And what distinguishes dreams as extraordinary? So you don't have to answer all those questions. Pick one or two that come to mind, and you can add to that any questions you have about extraordinary dreams or what brings you here today. So pick one or two of these questions and put the answer in the chat. Or anything you noticed from looking through your journals and looking for extraordinary dreams. It might be that what you noticed is you have no idea what I'm talking about when it comes to an extraordinary dream, but we'll get there. And if you have trouble using the chat, just unmute and speak out loud. Oh, Jenny, you know what? I will make a recording of that meditation. That's a great idea. Okay, some good questions here. And definitely read through these comments as they're coming in. They might spark something for you. And I hope you're noticing the range here from people who are saying, I don't have extraordinary dreams. I have the same kind of dream every night, right? And then to the other extreme, people who are like, yeah, big dreams, archetypal figures, archetypes meaning like the wise woman or the infant or the sage or the priestess. So we have the whole range here, like, yeah, every night I'm having big dreams and archetypes. I mean, that's way over in one end. And no, just the same old kind of recurring dreams. I'm just always missing trains or, you know, whatever. Intricate, detailed, big dreams a lot of the time. Magic. So we'll go over what some of these things mean too. And you can put your questions in here too. If somebody's talking about lucid dreams and you don't know what they're talking about, go ahead and ask. These are great. Yes, animals showing up in dreams. Watch for those, especially if they talk or if they bite you or lick you. I would call that an extraordinary dream. Anybody else? Anybody want to just say something out loud? Chanel, I don't know if, oh, there you go. Lots of dreams. There you go. I thought I missed you. Ah, so you get some deja vus. Yeah. Yeah, great. Okay. Did anybody not get a chance to put something in the, into the chat? So Dominguez is saying she gets dreams where the animals love to bite her and lick her. Dominguez, what do you make of that? What does that mean to you? Unmute yourself. Do you take special note of those dreams?
I do, especially because lately I've been seeing a lot of tigers, and my behavior changes towards them. I can have I can say the same type of animal, but my behavior changes towards them. So to me, it's more like um probably me going through a few internal changes on the way I react to things that are supposedly scary.
Yeah.
Um, but that deeply, I know that they're not really that scary because they only want to play. So yeah.
I love what you're saying. I love that you're watching not only the animals in the dream, but how you react to them. That's real important. I just want to add one more thing to your basket of possibilities, which is that in many cultures, if especially indigenous cultures, if an animal licks or bites you or scratches you in a dream or talks to you, they might be offering you their medicine, their strengths. So pay special attention. That animal might be coming in as a protector or a guide for you. So just add that to your basket of possibilities. If that seems like it makes some kind of sense to you or resonates for you, you can look up animal medicine online or shop
Okay.
and see how that fits with you. And if not, that's just an idea. That's one way of looking at things.
I
So
mean, I do. Oh, sorry. I was just gonna add like tiny little comment. I do feel like it does resonate because I've had dreams with snakes before that I actually allow them to bite me, and it like I allow it. It just feels very natural to me just
yeah,
to let them
yeah,
freely bite me. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
So if that sounds strange to somebody who's listening and like, oh my God, I wouldn't want to do that, that's okay. But what Dominguez is describing is something that can be really transformative if you work with dreams that way. So Sylvia, I love you saying that for you, the recurring dreams are spiritual, like spiritual totems. So I just want people to take note of that. Like, and we're going to talk a little bit more about this, things that we call ordinary dreams. We're going to talk a little bit later about how extraordinary they really are. So Adina, yours might want to perk up there, like, oh, maybe this is a new way to look at those recurring dreams. Okay, not just as, oh my God, this again, but there's some spiritual guidance and some spiritual totem or teacher here for me. So again, we've got this basket of possibilities. There's no one size fits all in dreams. So take the possibilities that resonate with you. And many of these possibilities go back to ancient traditions, and they've been tried and true for generations in different cultures or different philosophical lineages. So, as you can, keep an open mind. So what I want to do now is I want to tell you a little bit of a dream story of my own, and it came just for you. This dream, it definitely came when I was lying in bed, thinking about. I couldn't sleep. I was having insomnia. And so I was up for hours in the night and I was anxious because I have several classes to teach in the next month or two. And I have so much going on that I was thinking, I can't do it all. And I need to plan out this class for Extraordinary Dreams. And, I just don't know what to teach or what to say. And so I got a dream. The dream was lucid. So already it's an extraordinary dream. And so I knew it was meant for all of you. So what happened was I'm in the dream and I'm standing on the steps of a church right in front of the door. And my first thought is, what am I doing in front of a church? What does this symbolize? So I start to notice that I'm dreaming. I look around, I notice I'm in a little village, quaint, adorable little village. So I start walking down the street and I'm looking at the houses. Looks sort of like a storybook village. And one of the houses has a sign on it, like a sign. And on the sign it says, wake up. So I smile and I laugh and I'm like, okay, I'm awake. I know I'm dreaming. I'm awake in the dream. So I keep walking and I see a sign that says, know that you are here. And I'm just smiling even more in the dream now. I'm like, this is fun. I'm in the dream, I'm getting signs. So I start walking down a little lane and there are trees and the foliage is so abundant that it almost makes a tunnel over me. So I'm walking down my little lane and I'm like, I'm in a dream. Why don't I fly instead of walk? So I levitate. I can't go too high because of the branches. So I levitate. I'm sort of flying along and there are other people around noticing that I'm flying. And they're looking at me like, I'm a little nuts. What's going on here? So I say, come on, you can do this too. And they all start flying and I'm in front and they're behind. And I look back and they say, great, I just taught you to fly. Now you're my students. So they're flying. Then we get to the end of this lane and I turn around and I'm just feeling a little smart alecky. And I turn around and I said, hey, when you get to the end of the tunnel, it doesn't work anymore. You can't fly. And boom, boom, they all start falling to the floor. And I turn around and say, I was just teasing you. It's your dream. You can fly. And up we all go. So woke up and I thought, wow, that's a dream for my students. It's a dream for me, obviously. It was my dream, but it's definitely a dream to share. So I turn it over to you. That's the lesson plan. What are the lessons? So what do you learn from that dream? You can unmute yourself. What does that dream tell us about lucid and extraordinary dreams? Unmute yourself, raise your hand, put it in the chat, whatever is the comfortable way for you to reply. Think. No wrong answers. I'm sure there are many things I didn't even think of. Nice. Alyssa, yes, they come in response to yearning. In this case, it was a response to anxious yearning. So I kind of set an intention. I didn't mean to set an intention, but because I was sort of yearning, I like that word, a dream came in response. It was an answer, it was a gift. Linda, no, I'm a frequent flyer. I love to fly. How many other people have flown in their dreams? Few of us, yeah. So, and good. Any frequent flyers? Do it a lot? Isn't it fun? So for those of you who have not yet flown in a dream, sometimes just having the seed planted is all you need. But pay attention to anything you see flying during the day. Think about flying as you fall asleep and see what happens. So what else? What else did we learn? So setting intentions, the dreams will answer. They absolutely do. Even unconscious intentions, like just being up anxious at night saying, oh, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? I got too much on my plate. If you believe it, you can do it. So what Sylvia is saying here is so important in dreams. Dreams are gonna do two things. They're gonna respond to our beliefs and they're gonna reveal our beliefs. So as soon as the dream figures, which are of course parts of me and maybe other things as well, but as soon as the belief was introduced into the dream that you can fly, started flying. As soon as we stop believing we can fly, thud. So the dreams respond to our beliefs and dreams reveal our beliefs. That's why we do dream work. We work on our dreams to find out what beliefs are serving us and what beliefs are outdated and are no longer serving us and need some updating. Yes, and Jenny says that messages will arrive and sometimes very clearly. In this case, written out. Remember you are here. Well, wake up first, right? This could have been a Zen Buddhist teaching. Wake up. That's what the dreams really want us to do. I don't mean only wake up with our physical eyes. I mean, wake up to the nature of reality. Now we're going deep. Okay. Simultaneously true that everything's a dream. And simultaneously true that we need to wake up and not dream. Not dream means not be unconscious. So we can be dreaming awake, like I was in that dream. And we can be dreaming awake, sleeping awake, like going through 90% of our lives unconscious. Yes, Dominguez, they can show us our progress on an issue. So let me just see, did anybody want to say anything else about that dream? Because that's pretty much our curriculum. I want to just share my screen because I know I had some thoughts on it and I want to make sure I share all of them. So yes, so we hit these. Insomnia has its benefits. I do want to point that out. So this happened after I was awake for 2 or 3 hours in the middle of the night, unable to sleep. But I did what I call a meditation. I highly recommend this, which is meditate in bed. So I didn't sit up, I didn't get out of bed, but I realized I was not sleeping. So I tried to meditate on the experience. So in this case, I just tried to pay attention to the fact that I was anxious. I just witnessed myself being anxious in bed and I let it be. And then when I slipped back into dreams, I slipped in consciously because I was meditating in bed, meditating. So insomnia is a perfect opportunity to meditate and perhaps enter lucid dreams, clear dreams. The dream is the teacher. Oh my goodness, this is the most important part of the whole thing. So I'm resigning right now from the role of, or the job of being your teacher, and I'm handing you over to your own dreams. 5. Just kidding. But I mean, I'm gonna lead you tonight, but your dreams are your teacher. And never let me forget that. I am not your teacher. Your dreams are your teacher. Those dreams came to teach me, and the dreams came to give me a curriculum for you. The dream is the teacher. You have this inside of yourself. This is your intuition, your dreams, and these extraordinary dreams are coming to really wake you up. We talked about this, belief guides the dream and the dream reveals beliefs. So now I have a question for you. When working with extraordinary dreams, how should you do it? So for example, with this dream, was the message of the dream literal or metaphoric? So this wake up, the 2 of the messages, any of the messages, but the wake up and know where you are, were those literal messages? Was I just supposed to wake up and think about where I am? Was the dream metaphoric? Should I be analyzing the village? Should I be analyzing the lane with the trees? Or should I just take the whole thing literally? It was just telling me to wake up and know where I am. So I'm going to stop the share for a minute and turn that over to you. I'm going to put you all in a few groups. I'll put you in pairs. If we have an even number, yes, we do. I'm going to put you all in pairs and I want you to talk about it with each other. What do you think? So here's how we're going to do it. Anytime that we are in pairs or groups in this workshop or any workshop I teach, I want you to practice active listening with each other. So it's going to be sort of a controlled conversation. Person 1 will talk for a minute or 2, and I'll give you prompts. I'll tell you when to switch speakers. And while the person's speaking, listener, just listen. Okay, so don't talk, don't say, oh yeah, that happens to me too. Devote yourself to listening And that means having an attitude of open, non-judgmental, patient, and curious attention. So just be all about what this person is saying. Be curious internally, be patient, and loving. If it's too weird to love someone else you don't know, well, go ahead and try it. It's fun. Sometimes easier than loving somebody you're intimately acquainted with. And also, you can always just focus on loving yourself if it's too much to think about loving the stranger, which is fine. Okay? So listeners just listening, speakers just speaking. So you'll have about 90 seconds, 2 minutes to speak. If you run out of things to say, don't switch until you get the prompt to switch. Just stay quiet and engaged with yourself, because something else might come to you that you want to say on the topic. Okay? Okay. I know it's a little awkward and a little uncomfortable to have a dialogue in this sort of controlled way, but we practice listening to ourselves and to one another because it's the best way to listen to our dreams as well. Okay? We'll learn the most from our dreams. So in case you forgot from all this chit chat, the conversation is about, oh yay, Terry's here. The conversation is going to be about how would you work with a dream, any dream, but especially one of these big dreams. Are you going to work with it literally? Are you going to take the messages literally, or are you going to analyze it? How would you handle that kind of a dream? Okay. You talk for a minute, think about it, anything that comes to you, even if it's a little off the topic, as long as it's generally about dreams. And then you'll switch. And then I'll give you another minute just to chat back and forth. But I'll give you prompts so you'll know what to do. You ready? There are no wrong answers. Okay. Okay, have fun. It'll take a minute, so just sit back. And then you'll be put into a room. It's a lot to process, so it's good to take those moments to reflect, even if what you are is confused. You know, that confusion is a very fertile ground for learning. So welcome back, my friends. I'm going to share a little more information with you, and then we'll look at some dreams of our own, okay? We'll look at an ordinary dream and an extraordinary dream. But first, let me just share a little information to give you some context about extraordinary and ordinary dreams. So, you know, they're called extraordinary dreams, and they happen a fair amount. So about 1% of all dreams are classified as spiritual dreams. These statistics come from a couple of different researchers in the field of dreams, and they're useful only to a point, because what do they really mean by spiritual dreams? But dreams that people classify as spiritual, probably for those of us in this group, that number's a lot higher. 1 to 8% of dreams are said to be lucid. And lucid dreams are dreams simply where you know that you're dreaming while you're dreaming. It's a very intense and exciting experience when you know you're dreaming, as in the example I gave just before. And I'll be curious to know from all of you how many of you have those kinds of dreams. About 6% have psi elements, psi meaning psychic. So I think it was Chanel who said that she has some deja vu dreams, where things happen that you know that you've experienced before, or things that come true after the dream. Oh, I have lucid twice. Sorry about that. So I seem to have made a little bit of a mistake with my typing, but when you add up, so I apologize, but when you add up all these different percents, like 6% psi, 8% lucid, and then there's a percent for precognitive that I forgot, I accidentally did lucid twice, sorry. But when you add them all up, it's like 20% of dreams, that's 1 in 5, have extraordinary elements in them. So extraordinary could be precognitive, visitation, spiritual, lucid, etc. That's a lot. That's a lot. And I'm going to argue that it's even higher than that. It's even much higher. This is what scientists say. And I love scientists, but everything needs to be proven for them, and it's hard to prove some of these dreams. So according to the Babylonian Talmud, a dream is 1/6 prophecy. Now that's not science. This is spirituality and philosophy. But just think about it. If 1/6 of every dream is prophecy, that's almost saying that there's something extraordinary in every dream. So I kind of love that. It's not empirical truth, but it's something to think about. And then Jean Houston, one of the contemporary great spiritual thinkers of our day, I love this quote. She says, "Tap into the inner workshop of the mind. Extraordinary reality will become ordinary." And I think we can apply this to dreams just as easily. Tap into the inner workshop of dreams, and extraordinary dreams will become ordinary. And I think we could even say, and ordinary dreams will become extraordinary. So, an ordinary dream. So just thinking about ordinary dreams. Bring a dream to mind. Let me take that off for just a minute. I want to just give you a chance to get still and quiet in yourself and just think about an ordinary dream. If you only have one dream that comes to mind and it's extraordinary, don't worry about it. This is just to get you thinking. So bring a dream to mind, any dream. An ordinary dream works even better in this case. So take 3 breaths. Bring a dream to mind. See the dream in your mind's eye. And start to sort of poke around in the dream, wonder in the dream. What in this dream is extraordinary? What in this dream could not happen in waking life? Or is unlikely to happen? So even if you're having a dream that you're missing a train or a plane, well, that could happen in regular life, but certainly not in a pandemic, most likely. It would be more unusual in the pandemic, or it certainly wouldn't be happening while you're in bed. So widen your view of what might be unusual or extraordinary in your dream. And then when you have something, just open your eyes. Okay, so put into the chat, or yeah, just put into the chat what you came up with that was unusual or extraordinary in your ordinary dream. Think about where it took place, who was in it, what was surprising, what couldn't happen in ordinary life or is unlikely to. An astrologer is saying each person's soul is a church. Wow, wouldn't that be nice if that happened ordinarily? Woke up late and missed an exam, right? Wouldn't happen. I'm not in school. Black and white spotted. What was that? Spotted duck. Oh my goodness. I love it. Oh, a group of kind, welcoming people didn't have to work except to attend an artist commune. I mean, look at these are so-called ordinary dreams. Putting white sandals on and put on soaking wet sandals. London's across the river from where I live. I love that. Sometimes I live in Massachusetts and I miss New York City so much. And sometimes I'll dream that New York City is just right down the street. Seeing a boyfriend from decades ago. I mean, this happens every night in dreams. Public transportation, stuff I'm not using during the pandemic, being close to Madonna. Oh, I want to be in that dream. So these are our so-called ordinary dreams. Okay, so really take that in. I discover an unused, huge, beautiful room in the house. Oh, love those dreams, right? This is what we call ordinary dreaming. So when we look at all these elements, where it took place, who was in it, there are all these things that couldn't have happened. So here's how we can use ordinary dreams. Ordinary dreams can become bridges to extraordinary dreams, to lucid dreams in particular, and to dreams of clear light. And this is how. It's very simple. So when you notice, oh my God, my sandals are soaking wet and they're white sandals and I don't own sandals, anything like that, that can spark you within the dream to become lucid. Because the minute you notice it, like, oh my goodness, Madonna's here, this must be a dream. That brings you into that lucid state when you're aware and awake in the dream. So there's a couple of ways that you can play with this, which is when you're awake and you see something surprising, use that as a trigger to ask yourself, am I awake or am I dreaming? And then when you see something surprising or out of the ordinary in your dream, you can say, am I awake or am I dreaming? And you can get into a lucid state of awareness. Also, sometimes when there's an unusual element in any dream, ordinary or extraordinary, that could serve as a marker for where a psi element like precognition or deja vu or clairvoyance might be at play. So it might be that something that happens just before or after that unusual or surprising element happens, that thing might be the thing that might actually come true. So keeping a dream journal is super important so you can track some of these things. And of course, any surprising image in a dream is an excellent image to explore in your dream work. So I'm just going to say one or two more things about this. I offer this yin yang symbol because what you're going to start seeing tonight, and I hope it's already happening, is that just as in the yin yang symbol, there's a sign of the dark blue, a spot of dark blue in the light and light blue in the dark. It's usually a black and white symbol, but I like this blue one. There's a bit of the extraordinary in the ordinary dream, and we'll look in a few minutes about the ordinary stuff in extraordinary dreams and how important they are. So there's no one or the other. There's no one dream that's only extraordinary or only ordinary. They mix, and the places where they mix can be very potent. So even the most ordinary dream is extraordinary because you're actually in bed and you don't know that in the dream, right? In the dream, you think you're in Timbuktu or you're flying through a small village, right? But your body's in bed. So the whole premise is extraordinary. In dreams, even ordinary dreams, we're experiencing things outside of time and space. Somebody mentioned an ex-boyfriend she hasn't seen in years is, they're alive and active in her dream. A person who's passed on can be alive and active in your dream. So we're moving outside of normal time and space in any dream. That's extraordinary. Just the visual quality of dreams, the creative expression, the depth of emotion, it's all extraordinary. Impossible combinations of people, places, and things, right? So I'm in a storybook village. I'm with all these people I don't know. We're flying. Well, that was an extraordinary dream, so that's cheating. But, having a dream about people who wouldn't know each other in our normal waking life, but they're in the same scene in our dream. So all of this without leaving your bed. It's pretty extraordinary. So just going to pause there in case anybody has any questions. And then I'm going to give you an example and we'll dive into one of our dreams. Any questions on any of that? Okay. So we're going to be working with this interplay between the ordinary and the extraordinary. So I want to just share another dream example with you. So I had a dream client who came to me with a dream. We had a 1-hour session planned, 1 hour. And she comes to me with this dream. She says, I had a dream that my beloved dog came to me in this dream, and she just came bounding toward me. This dog, by the way, had died several years ago. So this dog has long since died, but in the dream, it came bounding toward her, and the dog said, I'm okay. Everything's okay. I'm okay. Everything's okay. That was the dream. We had an hour for our session. So I said, so first of all, it's an extraordinary dream. It's a visitation dream, a dog who's passed away, and the dog's talking. Extraordinary dream. So what does this dream mean to you? She says, well, now I know my dog is okay on the other side. She's happy. And I know I'm okay and everything's okay. I'm sitting there thinking, we're done. Now what do I do with the other 55 minutes of this woman's session? So think about it. What might you have done? I'll tell you what I did, but So I asked her, tell me more about the dream. Where was the dog? Did you recognize the scenery? She said, oh yeah, the scenery was an old job that I had. There was a field out in the back of the building, and it was a job, she had this big transition from that job into her next job. It was a very scary transition. She was making a big leap forward at the time, and the dog was bounding through the field that was out behind the building where she used to work. Okay, great. And I asked her a few other questions, and I also asked her, what was she thinking about before the dream? What was she thinking about the night before? Had she set an intention? Well, she hadn't consciously set an intention, but she had been thinking that night about a situation in her life where she was making another life transition, this time in the personal aspect of her life. but it was a big transition and she was really frightened and anxious about how it was all going to go. So from talking about the setting, that field, we were able to find out a lot more information that this dream had for her about what it was telling her about this, because it took place at this workspace where she had made a big transition that what she was afraid of, and how that worked out and what she did to make that work out. And then looking at her current life situation, all of a sudden there was a lot more information in this dream for her. Not only that things were okay, that her dog was okay, and that she'd be okay, but there were all these different hints from the setting to help her make the next transition that she was working on in waking life, right? So it's a little example, but it shows a lot about how an ordinary part of the dream, the field, actually held all kinds of information for her. Does that make sense? So we shouldn't be blinded, so to speak, or distracted by only the extraordinary part of the dream. Like, oh my God, there is a Swami in my dream. Like, I don't need to know anything else except the words that came out of the Swami's mouth. But where was that Swami? What was I doing when the Swami came into the dream? These ordinary details can help inform the wisdom this dream is trying to communicate. Does that make a little sense? It'll make more sense when we play with it. Okay, so now I want you to think about one of your extraordinary dreams. This is what we've been waiting for, right? So now remember, if you think you don't have an extraordinary dream, all of your dreams are extraordinary. So if you have a lucid dream you want to think about, or a dream where an archetypal figure came and gave you some big message, you can use that. A lucid dream, a visitation dream. Or if that's not available, you can just use an ordinary dream, missing a train, anything. Take a minute to think of your dream. Invite yourself back into that space. Invite yourself back into your intuitive center of your being. And let yourself re-enter your dream in your imagination. You might want to close your eyes if that helps, or look down. And I want you to notice the location. Where does this dream take place? Look around. It might be obvious. I'm on the steps of a church. I'm in my daughter's bedroom. It might not be obvious. So let yourself look around and notice. Am I inside or outside? If it's a building, what kind of a building? And then pick up your pen and journal or paper, whatever you have handy. And write down the name of the location, church, school, whatever you've got. If you don't have a location, if anybody doesn't have a location, just raise your hand so I know to help you out. Great, looks like everybody's got one. Kat, you don't have a location? Use another ordinary aspect of your dream, maybe an object. Okay. But actually unmute yourself for a minute just so I can check out if you really don't have a location. Can you tell if you're inside or outside in the dream, Kat?
Yes, I'm in a taxi.
Oh.
And I'm heading somewhere, but I didn't know that. Is that all right?
Use taxi. You're in a taxi.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, use taxi. We'll make this easy. Okay. So write down your location. Anybody else having a problem with their location? Okay. Write down your location and then 3 qualities that describe that location. So for me, I was in that village, the Storybook Village. The qualities were quaint, manageable, and inviting. So 3 words to describe your location, what it felt like. Or words you would use to describe it to someone else. It was warm. It was open, bright, whatever it is. And then write down what the general purpose of that location is. So a village, you know, it's a place for people to live and gather and get their needs met, right? A church, it's a place to pray and meet with God. A taxi, right? Purpose perhaps is to take me places. Try not to overthink it. First thought, best thought. And sticking with this first thought, best thought idea, write the first thing that comes to mind, even if you haven't answered all the other questions yet. Just go with this one now. What information might this dream location be offering me? The dream maker's choice of this location, what information might it be offering me? What wisdom, what information? What's the dream telling me, basically, is what you're asking here, based on this location. And based on the reflecting that you've done so far by looking at the qualities and the purpose of that location. Just take a moment there. So would somebody be willing to share with us? You'll all get a chance, but you're going to go into small groups. But just as an example, would somebody be willing to share with us? And I'll tell you how we're going to share, and you'll do this in your small groups, and who's ever brave enough to do it in the big group. You're going to share, you're not going to tell the whole dream. You're going to share what I'll call the Reader's Digest version. So sum up your dream in a couple of sentences tops, okay? So you're going to tell us the Reader's Digest version of your dream. We also sometimes call it the skeletal dream, just the basics, right? I was in a village, I saw some signs. I flew with a bunch of people, that's it. That whole dream I took you 5 minutes to tell before, got it out in a few sentences. So you're going to tell your dream in the skeletal version or the Reader's Digest version, and then tell us the location and the 3 qualities and the purpose. So who would like to try that? Chanel, yay, thank you for stepping up.
I'm not too good at this whole the extraordinary dream thing, but the location was, it was very full. It was overwhelming and it was very peculiar.
Okay, pause there for a minute. So it was full or overwhelming and peculiar. What kind of place was it exactly?
A ballroom,
A bar? Like a drinking bar?
like like a ballroom,
Yeah,
like
dancing.
uh-huh.
And okay, so it was a ballroom. So
Mhm.
everybody listen, pretend, everybody take this on as your dream. You're in a ballroom. It's full,
Mhm.
overwhelming, and peculiar. And Chanel, tell us, what's the purpose of a ballroom? And everybody, you think of your own answer inside your own head. But Chanel, for you, what's the purpose of a ballroom?
I want to say it was for a speech or some kind of gathering of some kind.
Okay. So somebody's going to give a speech or there's a gathering. So it's a place, so a ballroom is a place for gathering or giving a speech in this case. For somebody else, a ballroom might be a place for dancing or a place for feasts, whatever. But this is Chanel's dream. And so Chanel, what information, what might the dream be telling you by locating the action in a ballroom? What does it want you to know? First thought.
Do I throw in the extraordinary part now? Because that's what made it give me those characteristics.
Go ahead.
I had a pair of wings attached to my back.
Okay. Wow. Okay. So Chanel is in a ballroom and doesn't matter Chanel. So now each of us takes it in. Sylvia is in a ballroom. Dominguez is in a ballroom. I'm in a ballroom. I have wings. I'm in a full, overwhelming, peculiar place, a place of gathering, a place where somebody might orate, give a speech. And Chanel, what do you feel the dream was telling you? Why a ballroom? What information does that give you about your dream?
I thought maybe that because of the wings and the big space that I was supposed to be trying to give something to help or do. I don't know, because when I think of wings, I think of like a fairy or something that grants some, gives some kind of special something or, something like that. So I don't know. That's what I thought. So,
Let's pause there. And so now everybody think to yourself. Now we're not telling Chanel what her dream means. We have no idea. This is Chanel's dream. But if it were your dream, what would it mean to me? So in the chat, go ahead and put, if it were my dream. And what is specifically, see if you can focus on the ballroom. If this were my dream, the fact that it's in a ballroom would be telling me, go ahead and put something in the chat. And Chanel, thank you so much for sharing this dream. Nice. Nice. So Chanel, you take a look through the chat and see if anything rings any bells for you. If it's useful, take it on. If it's not useful, let it go. That's fun. And Adina, I'm going to just put you on the spot if you don't mind. If it was your dream, and if your dream was telling you I could grant people's wishes, how might you use that in your life to help you?
To help me?
Yeah. If it's your dream and your dream's telling you, yeah, you've got power, you can grant people's wishes.
I think it would make me feel less helpless
Nice.
under current circumstances.
Yeah. To give you that feeling of agency and some a sparkle through, make me feel like a sparkle of power, like that energy. Like, yeah, I've got magic. Nice. Nice. The place of celebration and mystery. Makes me think of Venice and people are in masks, intrigue, creativity. So Chanel, when you think of all this and look at it, how might this dream, anything you want to add about what this dream might be telling you? What resonated for you?
I love, first of all, I love the individuality of each one, each person's response. That was awesome. I love that. Of course, I love the wishes, Adina, that was awesome because I'm a nurturing person. So I would love to give everybody what they need. I think that's kind of why we do some of the work that we do. So I love meeting new people. That's totally on point. Dominguez said something that was awesome. She's always so good with these things. When we work together all the time, I always get good stuff from her. She's good at this. What did she say? I'm looking at it. Hold on one second. Okay, guys. Hold on.
Let's see if we can help you out here.
Yes, because I'm missing.
If this was my dream, the fact that it's in a ballroom would be telling me I need to make space in my life to enjoy myself more, spread my wings and fly.
I love that.
Mm.
Amazing. I love it. I love that.
Well, Chanel, thank you again for stepping up. And thank you everybody for giving Chanel such beautiful feedback. Now you're going to get into groups of 3. And you're going to play this exact same game. So the dreamer will give the Reader's Digest, and Chanel did a great job of offering an example of how that can be done. You know, she already gave us a setting, and in the setting, I have wings. That's like all we needed to know for our purposes today. If you had an hour together, you'd go in much more detail and depth. So as short as that, your synopsis of your dream, share your location, what you wrote in your journal, that the qualities were and the purpose. And then the other members of the group will do If It Were My Dream. And remember, you're always talking about yourself. So Adina, thank you for letting me put you on the spot to demonstrate how If It Were My Dream works. So if it were my dream, this is what it would mean to me, and this is how it would help me, right? So really take it in as your own. It doesn't matter, you know, in this case, you know, this might have nothing to do with Chanel because we have no idea. It's Chanel's dream. But what does it mean to you? And you offer that reflection back. And then just as we gave Chanel the last word here, the dreamer gets the last word. Okay. So Chanel, if we need one group of 4, I'm going to put you in that group of 4, and then you would go last if there's extra time. Okay. Okay. So, because I can't do math that quickly. I'm going to get you all in your breakout rooms. And I will again send you prompts to help you move along from person to person. Any questions before I set you guys up? Okay. If you do, unmute because I can't see all of you right now. Oh, it's going to work out perfectly with 3-door room. Okay, my friends, have fun. assuming that that worked. Good. Did anybody find any helpful information from the ordinary location of their dream? Oh, good. I see some heads nodding. Anybody still like, nah, I didn't get anything? Don't be shy. Well, that's pretty cool, huh? So hopefully you're really getting the sense of how our ordinary dreams can be full of extraordinary material that can help us not only to get more wisdom from that dream, but also to help spark extraordinary dreams, right? Right, so you start paying attention to the surprises in your dreams, start paying attention to the surprises in waking life, and you'll find there those lucid dreams or precognitive dreams, or start to identify the material more. And then, of course, with the extraordinary dreams, do not overlook the ordinary elements. I had an amazing, early on, I had a client come to me with this dream that was so full of archetypal figures, including like Nazis, you know, like real evil figures. And so it was so easy to just get focused on those really huge elements. But we couldn't really find, she hadn't yet found the news of the dream, you know, that element that was going to help her in her waking life. And then we were just kind of stumped for a little bit and sort of poking around the dream. And so I said, you know, you mentioned that the dream took place in a library, you know, a room in a house that was a library. Like, yeah. And I was like, well, tell me about it. What were on the bookshelves? Well, there were all these Amazon boxes, you know, books from Amazon that hadn't yet been unpacked. And even some of the packing paper, you know, that copy paper was strewn about. That was in the background of the dream. She wouldn't have even mentioned it because all the other stuff was so big. And when we looked for that healing element, that thing that was going to help her, you know, what that Amazon box meant to her was it was reminding her of the Amazon within her, the Amazon warrior. You know, she had the Nazi soldiers who were, you know, sort of the evil warrior, but she had that Amazon, that divine feminine warrior in her, and the poppy paper, you know, protection, you know, things that would protect her. So that was the imagery that helped bring the healing. You know, we have to keep looking in the extraordinary dreams also at the ordinary. Now, not to say that you don't get plenty of wisdom, you know, like the dream I shared about the dog, you know, just having the dog come back to that client and have the dog say that the dog's okay and she's okay, you know, that's plenty. But she got even more from working with the ordinary parts. So Christy has a good question. When we see something surprising in waking life, we could just ask ourselves, am I awake or dreaming? Now, we pretty much know the answer, but by pausing and reflecting on that question, awake, we habituate ourselves to do the same in the dream, okay? Hopefully you'll get your answers right. When I pause and ask in the dream, am I awake or dreaming? I get it wrong a lot of the time. I'm like, oh yeah, that pumpkin just flew by, but literally, I'm not kidding. No, I'm sure I'm awake because that pumpkin looks so real. Takes practice and a sense of humor. So I wanted to share a little bit about how we can encourage ourselves, because whereas there's plenty to work with in our ordinary dreams, if we want to bring about more extraordinary dreams into our lives, well, that's one way, what we were just talking about. Start to notice the surprising elements awake and in dreams and notice them. Ask, am I awake or dreaming? But real basically, get a good night's sleep. Now, we did see tonight how even insomnia can help spark some extraordinary dreams, but you need that time on the mattress. So get to bed, have lots of dreams. Learn to improve your dream recall, practice improving it. Keeping your dream journals, probably the best way to increase dream recall. So that's important if you want to remember these extraordinary dreams, because they do happen even when you don't remember them. And track the magic. So keeping a dream journal, dating your entries so that you can prove it to yourself, most importantly. I know I've had some times where I notice a precognitive element, like I know, last week I dreamt about whatever, an elephant, and now here's an elephant showing up in my life, whatever. If I didn't have it written down, I might start to doubt myself. Did that really, did I really dream it like that? Having it written down helps you track it, and it also helps you get in the habit of noticing the extraordinary elements in dreams. So Adina, even you who think you have a lot of them, you might find out you have more than you think. Do the work your dreams suggest. So those ordinary dreams are so important because they're showing you the places where you've got some work to do, psychological work, emotional work, spiritual work, energetic work to do. When you do that work in your waking life, the dreams respond and you can get more dreams of clarity. It's not because it's a reward system. It's because it's natural cause and effect. When we get more clarity in our lives, we can have more clarity in our dreams. And to bring it back to that initial meditation, we spend more time with our intuition. With our intuition, you can call it divine wisdom, you can call it pure intellect, but we want to spend more time with that part of ourselves, and our psychological and emotional problems need to be dealt with so we can get there. Court the in-between states. So for example, this is why that insomnia worked. When I'm lying in bed, when you're lying in bed and you can't sleep, you're often hovering in a sort of dreamy state. Even though you're awake, your neurochemistry of your mind is sort of hammocking or hovering between wake and sleep. So you can get into some lucid dreams from that state. You can meditate in that state, hover there, and see what dreams come. They'll often be extraordinary. So we talked about looking for surprises awake and asleep. So those are just some ways to help you become an active dreamer. We don't have to just wait for dreams to happen. We have a relationship with them. We build that relationship with our dreams so we can have more extraordinary experiences and notice them because they're happening anyway. Your intuition is there all the time, whether you're paying attention to it or not. Your bliss body, your inner joy is there, whether you're paying attention to it or not. May as well spend more time with these parts of ourselves that are extraordinary. So, I'm going to take a moment for, oh no, not yet. Not going to take a moment for that yet. First, what we're going to do is you're going to take a moment and think about something that you learned today about extraordinary dreams, something you learned about the topic, and put it in the chat. By articulating what we learned, we help make it be part of ourselves. We help ourselves integrate it. So putting it in writing, articulating it, will make it solid. And by sharing it in the chat, we help one another to remember all the different things we learned and help them integrate it. for one little nugget. I love that, Dawn. Build a relationship with your dreams. Pay attention to the little things. I love this. Make space. Jess put it so nicely. Make space and be open to the magic of what seems ordinary. This is why, as dreamers, when we're active dreamers, I just think that we enjoy life more than other people, because we start to notice the magic, the everyday magic. Do the work your dream suggests. Location can give powerful insight. Yeah, I mean, I used location today as an example, and it is really important to look at location in dreams, but all the ordinary elements. We could do that same exercise just as a reminder on all the ordinary elements in a dream. Objects, like I gave you the example, the bookshelves. The extraordinary is ordinary. Nice. Yes. Yeah, Christy, I think that's good for us all to remember of doing the work. If we leave these dreams on the pillow, then they were cool experiences. And you know, I meet a lot of people in my practice and in my life who have like all these extraordinary dreams, but nothing's changing in their life. Nothing's changing. So, you know, that's great. It's like, oh, I watched a great TV show, but the change happens when we do the work. The extraordinary dreams, you could think of them as an invitation. They're an invitation to grow and change and be enlightened. So I can decide to remember I'm here now, or I can just forget it and it was just a fun story to tell. But if I really remember that I am here now, that's profound. That's going to make me wake up to my life. So good, let all that sink in. I'm going to now take a moment to offer a PSA, public service announcement. 2 reasons. One, a dreamer's got to eat, right? But also because I have some wonderful opportunities to share with all of you. We have some great workshops coming up. As you know, the Institute for Dream Studies is the entity that brought you today's workshop, and there's another one coming up. The next one is a 2-session mini course for anyone who wants to integrate dreams into their professional life, or if you're literally building a business of your own, whether it's a dream business or another business. The Professional Dreamer is a workshop where we get real specific about how dreams can help us in our professional lives and how we can build our own dream businesses. Dreaming on the Page is my signature workshop, my own personal signature workshop in which we combine dream work and writing. And you don't have to be a writer per se, but it's great if you are a writer and you want to enhance your writing. So we have an 8-week live, that would be long, a 5-week live video conference workshop coming up. So that's once a week on Thursdays for 5 weeks. Also an 8-week subscription series that you do at your own time. That's what we call asynchronous. You can read about it. I'll send you this so you can read about it. You can take one of them or both of them separately or together. So I'll send you this so you'll have the links to the Institute for Dream Studies and to all these various events. And you'll also get this link so you can fill out an evaluation form for today's workshop, because we want to keep making these sessions more and more helpful to you. So your evaluations help us a lot. So I'll send you all that probably in the morning, because the dreamer's got a dream. And here on the East Coast, it's getting late. So how we're going to sort of wrap this up is in our usual way. We're going to go around and each person say out loud, and I'll give you a moment to reflect on this. Remember I said, we got to do the work. We got to take these dreams off the pillow. So how are you going to take your dream off the pillow? So the dream you worked with today, how are you going to take that wisdom off your pillow? What's one affirmation, a positive statement that would fit on a bumper sticker that you'll take away and repeat to yourself to bring the learning of the dream into your life? Or maybe there's a small action step you'll take. So maybe I'm going to take a Post-it note and put it on my bulletin board over my desk that says, remember you are here. Wake up. What are you going to do? It's got to be a small action, a little dab will do ya. I do recommend putting your action statement on a Post-it note, if you have one. Your affirmation, positive present tense statement. I will wake up. I will wake up to the present moment. I am awake in the present moment. That's even better. Put it in the present tense. I am awake, not in the future. Or an action. I'm going to honor my dream by taking a walk on a village lane and remembering that I can fly. So who'd like to start us off? Someone will start us off. You'll share your action statement, a real brief statement, or the action you're going to take, a small action to honor your dream and to bring it out into your waking life. Who wants to volunteer? Yay, Linda's going to start us off. Thank you, Linda.
I'm going to record my dreams more regularly.
Nice. Beautiful action step. So more regularly, maybe give yourself 5 minutes in the morning, right? Nice. So now we'll go around in the circle from Linda, and you show up in my screen in this order: Christy, then Dominguez, and then Sylvia, and then I'll say the rest after that.
Okay, I will ask myself often, am I awake or dreaming?
Nice. And when you do that, just pause and really reflect on the answer. It's fun. Dominguez.
Positive affirmation with the sentence, I am light. Little action on that. It would be something that I used to do, and I stopped doing that for like 5 years or so. Enjoy the sunny days. Actually go out in the sun. I used to love that. I don't do that anymore. Yeah.
Nice. Beautiful, Dominguez. Sylvia, and then Jess, and then Kat.
3 times each day for a week, I'll ask myself, am I awake or asleep?
Nice. And Sylvia, might I suggest, ask yourself if I'm awake or dreaming? Because getting that word dream,
Okay, am I awake or dreaming? That's better? Oh,
well,
yes.
something that might be more effective is then in the dream that will spark you that you could do a lucid dream right now.
That's what I'm trying for.
You've been trying for that for a while. I think your dreams are so clear and extraordinary that they're like, really? You want lucid too? Oh, great. Jess and then Kat.
I am going to look for dreams in French on Google and see what comes up.
Oh, wow. Is that so that was from your dream? I love it. Okay.
Yeah.
That sounds like a fun action step.
I'm going to show more gratitude. In my dream, I was soaking in the sort of sky and the landscapes and things like that. So I'm just going to enjoy like sunrises and show more gratitude because all is well.
Oh, gratitude. That's beautiful. You know, and you could even decide that every day before bed, right before dream time, write down 3 things you're grateful for. You know, so what I'm doing when I give these little suggestions is just helping to fine tune, because if we can anchor it in a real concrete step, right? Like I'm going to be grateful. That's kind of hard. That's why we don't do it. But if we anchor it with something, like I'm going to write 5 things I'm grateful for before bed, or fall asleep thinking, you know, whatever, you know, that's the game we're playing here. So Kit and then Chanel.
I will find this special things in the ordinary, and try to connect with them more.
Nice. Beautiful, Kit.
I deserve self-care too.
Self-care. And Chanel, maybe you can even think of one small thing, you know, whether it's giving yourself a hand massage. And I'm noticing you've got one injured paw there, but you know, that might be a hard one, but you know, whatever, you know, maybe you can think of something, a little 5-minute self-care thing that you can do, you know, brush my hair or whatever it is, give myself a scalp massage.
And I say that every day to my clients, do self-care. And I give them like 10 million tips and I don't do it myself.
Exactly. So 1 a day for yourself. I like it. Who did I miss? Did I call on some? I know I've got a bunch of people, but did I say someone's name out loud? Adina, why don't you go, and then Jenny, and we'll go Dawn. We'll get you all, and Alyssa.
I'm torn between 2. I'm going to notice the everyday magic, and I'm going to figure out what work my dream suggests.
Okay. Yeah. Both of those would work, right? And to figure out the work my dream suggests, just be real gentle with yourself and be real playful. Like maybe my dream is suggesting, okay? And you know, just go real gentle and open. Because if we get too tight about that, it can feel like work in a not so fun way. Beautiful. I love it. Jenny.
I like that suggestion. I believe in the power of my own sacred way. So I was going to put that on a Post-it card.
Nice.
And repeat it to myself.
Beautiful affirmation. Nice. Dawn.
Okay, I am actually going to take a very big action step. I am going to go take a series of pictures of the forest that we live in as the seasons change over the next several months, to remind myself that remaining open to change and adaptation will only strengthen me.
Wow, that's beautiful, Dawn. You got yourself a project.
Yes, I'm actually very excited about this.
I love it. That's wonderful. Keep us posted. We share some of those pictures. Alyssa.
Remember to include a summary of my day in my dream journal.
What a good step. So a brief summary. I always think Reader's Digest version, so we don't overwhelm ourselves, right?
Yeah.
A brief summary. So that sort of helps connect it all up, right?
Yeah, I think there's a theme, not seeing the ordinary and the extraordinary, not seeing the day and the night, not seeing the light in the shadow. So I'm working with a theme here.
Beautiful. What a nice way to work with that theme. Well, did everybody go? I think we all went, right? Did I miss anybody? So my action step, I've got my Post-it note ready. I'm going to write those statements from my dream and put them on my bulletin board, just like I said. And my other action step is I'm going to send you all the notes from our class today, so that you'll have some of these reminders and some of those links. And I do want to encourage you to take one more action step, which is to do the evaluation. It really helps us a lot to know what worked for you, what could work better next time. And it's just a few questions, it won't take long. So my friends, what a delight to have this extraordinary time with you all. I want to wish you all very sweet dreams. I will stay here for about 5 minutes. In case anybody has a burning question, but other than that, you can always email me, okay? Take good care, my friends.
Thank you.
Thank you.
What a pleasure.
Thank
I
you,
can
Sylvia,
Mhm.
so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.